You can have the money, but you've got to pay for it. That's German Chancellor Angela Merkel's message to Cyprus, where panicked savers are withdrawing cash from their accounts. The Eurogroup and the International Monetary Fund have agreed a €10 billion rescue package for Cyprus, which is teetering on the edge of bankruptcy. But a condition of the bailout is a one-off levy on bank deposits to raise €6 billion. At the helm of the EU's largest economy, Merkel says the radical measure makes sense. So we said, people who have their money in Cyprus's banks have to contribute to Saving Cyprus. So everyone who has more than €100,000 in his or her account will be taxed by almost 10%. In so doing, the people responsible will contribute, not only taxpayers from other countries. And that is correct in my opinion.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. You've just heard it for yourself from the German Chancellor Angela Merkel, as she stated that it is the correct thing to do to basically rob the people of Cyprus and to seize their personal assets, steal their private property by going into their bank account and taking out money in an attempt to deal with the failing economy there. Now, we all know that there's been a crisis of epic proportions in the Eurozone, failing economies as the debt bubble increases in Argentina, Italy, Spain, Greece. But what's going on in Cyprus is beyond austerity measures. This is beyond bank bailouts. This is robbing the people of Cyprus, saying, you're the one who is at fault, and therefore you are the one who's going to pay for this. And they've announced that they are proposing taking 10% of the money from personal, private bank accounts of the people in Cyprus. If you have over $100,000 in your account, they're just going to step in and take 10% of it. If you have under $100,000, they're just going to step in and take up to 6.75% of it. And for me, this, I would liken this to a man with a mask and a gun bursting down your door, sticking a gun in your face and saying, I'm taking some of your money. And he grabs a handful of it and he walks out the door. That is precisely what the government of Cyprus is proposing to do to deal with the economy that is on the brink of bankruptcy. This is an absolutely unprecedented move. I cannot believe the nerve, the audacity of the government to try to pull off something like this. Now today, Monday, March the 18th, 2013, is actually a national bank holiday in Cyprus, so the banks are closed, but there's obviously a lot of panic. A lot of people are rushing to the ATMs, lining up to try to get their money out of the banks before this takes place, and they are currently in discussions now. This is supposed to be announced possibly tomorrow, Tuesday the 19th of March, whether or not this is going to take place or not. They may keep the banks closed right on up until Thursday, just to try to stop a run on the banks from occurring, where people are going to panic. People are going to go down to the bank and try to take out their money to assure that it is safe. And I think this should be a wake-up call, not just to the people in Europe, but to people all over the world, that your money is not safe in a bank account. If the government of Cyprus can just step in like that and take money out of your account, personal, private funds that, your savings, your hard-earned money, your nest egg that maybe you're planning on retiring with, well, the government's coming in and saying, nope, we need to deal with this problem, so we're just going to make you pay for it. You're going to take the money out of your account. So, again, this is an unprecedented move. It's going to cause civil unrest if they go through with this. No doubt it will generate a domino effect, a run on the banks, and if that catches on, you could see run on the banks all across Europe, and could spread all across the world. I think a lot of people out there kind of have the notion or realize that if everybody went to the bank on the same day to try to get their money out, it just simply would not be there. They don't have it in the reserves. And that is the root of the issue here. That's the problem in the Eurozone, is with all of these inflating debt bubbles that are designed to inevitably pop, rather than just continuing to inflate the bubble that's going to pop and cause civil unrest, why not look at the root causes of the problems, which is fiat-based currency, which is fractional reserve lending and the ability to just print money out of thin air and charge people interest on it. That is the root of the problem. But as we currently see these things unfold, nobody is focusing on the root problem, which is fiat-based currency, money out of thin air, charging interest on nothing, but rather are looking to the IMF for major bailouts, or now simply stealing it from the people in their own personal bank accounts. Again, this should be a huge wake-up call to people all over the world. Your money is not safe with the banks, and perhaps run on the bank is not such a bad idea. If you got all your money tied up in the banks, I mean, if they can do it there, they can do it here, they can do it anywhere. So it might not be a bad idea to make sure that your assets are safe by removing them from the banks. Now, as I said, this could potentially generate a run on the banks in Europe and cause complete and total civil unrest. But we do know that a lot of the elites organize out of operate through this order out of chaos mentality. So perhaps, you know, this is all by design. So I don't know. Again, they're discussing this today and tomorrow, and over the next few days, they are expected to make an announcement whether or not this is actually going to be going through or not, as they're discussing this right now. But certainly it's going to be something that we have to pay close attention to. Again, if the people of Cyprus are being subjected to this kind of tyranny, this kind of government bullying, this kind of robbery, theft of your own personal hard-earned money by the government, if they can do it to the people of Cyprus, they can do it to anyone in the world. So we're going to have to pay close attention to this one, see how this one unfolds. But like we saw in the previous news clip there, Angela Merkel, counselor for Germany, feels that this is the right thing to do, to just take the money from the people. They're calling it wealth tax. They're referring it to it as a haircut, using all these buzzwords to try to smooth it over with the people and make it not sound as bad as it is. But again, I would liken this to a complete robbery, like a masked gunman coming in and taking your money. That's what this amounts to. So no doubt we're going to have to pay close attention to this one over the next few days, and we'll see how the people of Cyprus decide to handle this explosive situation, and see just how this one is gonna unfold. But again, you know, these debt bubbles that are continuously inflating in the Eurozone are inevitably gonna pop. You're gonna see run on the banks. You're gonna see civil unrest, and if it's happening in Europe, it could certainly come to the West. So we're going to be paying close attention to this one over the next couple of days as this continues to unfold. Again, this is not set in stone just yet, but this is huge news today. I'm seeing all over the news and all over the internet. And again, what happens in Cyprus could trigger a much larger run on the banks all across Europe. And of course, if that happens in Europe, it could certainly happen here, because people are starting to realize their money's not safe with the banks, when the government can just come in and take it, rob you of 10% of your hard-earned cash. So anyways, folks, just wanted to bring that to your attention today. Something very important to pay attention to over the next few days. So we'll keep up to date if there's any new developments on that front. But anyways, just some of my thoughts on that for today, folks. I want to thank you for tuning in once again. We'll see everyone right back here tomorrow. at pressfortruth.tv. Take care.